information and action about this project. Flowing Clean is funded by Jeff SGP UNDP and ProCarry Plus, and this program is made possible by SRDF as our collaborating and funding partner. Join us on Flowing Clean because every drop counts and the river depends on you. Flowing Clean, restoring our rivers together. Keep the river clean.
Please keep the river clean. I beg you, please keep the river clean. No more trash in the water, keep the river clean. Let we preserve for the.
Good morning, Sufre. Good morning to all those listening on radio 88.5, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on live stream. Good morning, and thank you for choosing 88.5 for your listening pleasure this morning. And welcome once again to another episode of the Flowing Clean Show. I am your host, Nadia Kazubo. As usual, we will be going over what it is that the project has accomplished over the past week and what do we have to look forward to in the upcoming weeks. So for the past week, we have had a couple of things that have taken place. And most of you would have taken part in it and seen or heard the flyers and the loudspeaker that was going around announcing it. We had 3 cleanups last week take place in Sufre. We also conducted some drone flights, and I am going to try next week to see if I can do a visual. So for those persons who are viewing on Facebook and on YouTube, would be able to see, and I will try my best to describe what it is for those who are listening on air. So I would be trying to do a presentation on air for you all. For the cleanups, we started on Friday. It was the New Development Area's turn for their community bulk waste cleanup. Once again, the cleanup is in an effort to try to get rid of some of the trash that would otherwise find itself not at the landfill. Persons take the opportunity when it is raining heavily to dump things in the heavy flowing stream and the ravine. So we wanted to step ahead of the hurricane season to try to get communities to get rid of their bulk waste, and we provided that service for several communities so far. And for new development, new development is a very large residential community, and so far we have carted away 4 20-ton truckloads of bulk waste out of the community. That helps benefit not just us protecting the river from getting polluted with these household appliances, etc., but it is benefiting residents who live in the community. They're able to get rid of their bulk waste, and it's also reducing the areas where we would have standing water in some of these old appliances. You have water collecting, you have rodents, mites, insects, pests breeding, mosquitoes. We wanted to clean up these communities and have residents clean up their own space, their own house lot, their own neighboring lots, to ensure that ahead of the hurricane season, we reduce the amount of spaces available for vectors to breed and to transport the garbage where it is supposed to be disposed of at the landfill. So far, like I mentioned, we have carted away 4 20-ton truckloads of bulk waste out of the new development community, and there is still about 2 or 3 truckloads left for pickup. I am going to ask residents to refrain from adding anything else other than your large appliances. We have had some residents that took full advantage of the opportunity and they placed everything that they wanted to out on their yard. And whilst we were happy to do that, we want to give everybody the chance to get rid of the bulk waste items that they have. So we would ask persons to refrain from putting anything else other than their old fridges, old washing machines, old stoves, old televisions, just your bulk waste items out for pickup. So like I mentioned, there are about 2 truckloads left for us to cut away. As well, the Sufre Infant School Buddy Ambassadors, I want to say thank you very much to the Sufre Infant School in the persons of our Peace Corps volunteer there, Miss Stephanie Hogan, the principal, Miss Syria Lafay, and the teachers who assisted, Miss Mary Nelson, who worked with them. They cleaned up the areas, the walk path between the two schools where we have students and adults, persons who traverse that area, dumping their plastic bottles over the fence, through the fence holes, and on the side. So those infant school students did a fantastic job on Friday. I want to say thank you to each and every one of them and to their parents who assisted as well too. And thank you to Miss Sonia for catering for them. And on Saturday, the Sufra Fishermen's Cooperative held their initiative, their cleanup initiative, and they cleared the fisheries area down to just past the cemetery. And I want to say thank you very much to those persons who assisted, the person who spearheaded in the person of the manager, Mrs. Vilma Prosper, as well as Miss Hogan, who volunteered her time as well too with them, and the children who assisted. So thank you very, very much to all those who have taken part in their community cleanups and played their part in ensuring that we dispose of our garbage where it is supposed to. We reduce the space and the places available for vectors, rodents to breed and to reduce in the spread of diseases. And we're benefiting our health, we're benefiting the environmental health, and we're keeping our rivers clean, which is the whole point of flowing clean. We want the river to be able to flow freely and clearly with no obstruction to cause any damming effect, to create any backlog and flood any areas. We want the river to flow clean so that the water will be clean, that we can see an improvement in the water quality. We also had completed some drone flights mapping the Fonce Jacques area, and I want to say thank you very much to one of our drone pilots who assisted me from the Suffer Police Station, Constable Keelan Charles. I want to say thank you very much to him for volunteering his time and lending his skills as a drone pilot to assist in flying our Mavic to map the river and the ravines in two parts of Fonce Jacques. We still have to continue this week, and we are waiting for the beautiful weather that's predicted on Thursday to continue our drone flights. So once all those maps are completed, we will be having an exhibition to show you the maps of all the areas that we have mapped, where all the ravines flow, where all the rivers are. We're also hoping to put points on those maps to show you where some of the springs are located. We know that in the event or in aftermath of a storm or hurricane, that persons would seek water from springs, and we want to be able to test some of those springs to ensure that the water quality is good, and then we can definitely and safely assure persons that they could go to certain springs for them to collect water if the need arises in the aftermath of any disaster striking us in Sufre. God forbid, we don't want that to happen, but we need to nonetheless be prepared for that eventuality. So our work with Flowing Clean closely ties in with disaster management. It closely ties in with environmental management, which is exactly what this is. And I know that several persons, well, the community is learning to cope with the water schedule that WASCO has implemented. And we know that WASCO has shut down the two water catchments in Diamond, and they are making a bypass, or they have created a bypass to get water from Fonce Jacques and from Ruby into town. And because of the heavy demand of the communities on these catchments, which previously were not serving all these additional hundreds of households, we need to be mindful of that. Be mindful as well too that it takes a while after rainfalls for aquifers to recharge, so that the water level, the water flow from the springs that Wasco is tapping can hopefully increase, so that we will have less pressure on the water system. And Wasco is actively looking for additional springs for them to tap into, and to look for alternative solutions for the diamond catchments to bring it back online with treatment option. I am pleased with the efforts that WASCO has been doing, and I would ask Sufrarians to bear with them. The workers are working assiduously. They now have additional responsibilities other than looking at water breaks that they have to continue addressing, looking at maintenance on the system, their chlorination schedules, etc. So we want to bear patience. I mean, Sufre is not a community that traditionally has not had any water, and this is a new scenario going forward for us that we need to work hand in hand with them. Now, I am fully aware that water is critically important, as everybody is very much aware of right now the need to save and conserve water. So, when you do get water, you know how important it is now for you to save water in whichever containers, clean containers that you have. I am happy as well too that environmental health or the health education has spoken about safe water storage, and make sure your containers are clean and washed and disinfected before you put it in to store water for drinking, and that you have options for treating your water, including using a simple technique of adding a tablespoon of bleach to a gallon of water, and you let it sit for at least 30 minutes after you mix it up so that it can take effect and kill all harmful bacteria that is in there. So if you are unsure of what the safety procedures are, feel free to contact the Bureau of Health Education and Environmental Health for that information, and they could guide you going forward. And I want to encourage persons, all those who are able to purchase water tanks for water storage, and those who are unable to purchase a big black water tank, no matter what the size is, you have the option of blue barrels, or make sure those barrels are sanitized properly and they're food grade. Your regular bottles, your jerry cans, etc. For storing water, make sure those containers are washed after every use and that they are kept clean and in a clean area where they are being stored. Now, moving on, we have our legislative review that is continuing, and our lawyer is moving forward with the different phase of the legal review that she and her partners are working on. Very soon, we will be arranging a training period, a training session for police officers from Soufrière as well as from the north of the island, for her to present to them the compendium of laws that she and her team have compiled, looking at what legislations are in effect in St. Lucia, what the regulations are, and further to that, making recommendations thereafter for improvements or amendments if needed. We are also planning a very important symposium. In the past, I have mentioned the SMMA together with Caribbean Sea Waterways. We conducted a project, and the German aid agency, GIZ, they brought down some consultants to take a look at our sewage and sanitation issues in Soufrière, and a report was put together. Recommendations were made for possible treatment options for raw sewage in specific communities in Soufrière, and nothing has happened since then. So under this Flowing Clean project, we are bringing these solutions that have been proposed to some funding agencies in the hope that we could get at least one of them, one solution funded. So we are planning a very major potable water and sewage symposium for Soufrière that is going to happen in August, and it will be geared towards inviting the big funding agencies, the embassies, the small Jeff Large Grants, Caribbean Development Fund, these large funding agencies. We are going to be inviting them to a symposium in Soufrière to take them to see or to have videos or live stream the conditions that they could get to experience it, and for us to present the solutions and lean on them and hope that at least one of the solutions will be picked up by a funding agency for us to have action taken to address these issues. I am not faulting anyone for their living standard, for the conditions that they are faced with, for the space limitations that they have. We do know and we understand that there are a number of households that do not have access to a toilet facility within close proximity to them, and there are several reasons why persons are unable to utilize the public toilet facilities, whether it be cleanliness, safety, time, etc. And we want to provide a humane and a cost-effective solution for those residents. So we are working assiduously towards this potable water and sewage symposium, and we added potable water to it because we recognize that WASCO would also need assistance in establishing treatment facilities for our water catchments. So we are inviting WASCO as well to present on that as well. With the school academic term coming, or academic year coming to an end, we are presenting to the schools. We are going to be having our annual rainforest camp. This year, the focus, of course, is going to be on our Flowing Clean project. And we will be going to schools doing presentations for the remainder of this week and into next week when school closes. With schools preparing for graduation, students are not engaged in formative classes. So this is opportunity for us to, have activities with the students. So this is what's going to be happening with us this week and next where we can. But next week, most schools have graduation. So we will be working alongside the schools to see how we can do those presentations. As well, we are coming up on the vacation period. We have our camp, like I mentioned, but we also have Carnival coming up first. And Waterways has partnered with the Peters Management Area Office to hold or to put out a junior carnival band, as the PMA has been doing for the past 3 years. And this year, the junior carnival band will be portraying Guardians of Soufrière, or the points of interest in Soufrière. The PMA is portraying the pitons and the petroglyphs. And if you go on the PMA's website, you could get to see the beautiful costumes and the package that the PMA is offering. And for us, with the Flowing Clean project, we are using our band to promote our water warriors, and we want Soufrierians to become guardians of the river. So we have 2 sections, water warriors and guardians of the river. Our costumes are beautifully designed, and we are also hoping to be able to put out a junior Queen of the Band costume as well on the road. It will be the first of its kind for a while in Soufrière. First to have a Queen of the Band costume. I don't think any of the adult bands have King or Queen of the Band costumes, and we are trying to bring that tradition back. So when school closes, we will be having our mass camp at the Soufrière Primary School. We will be encouraging parents to register their children and to take the children across to the school for them to help in building their costume. Our costume was designed by a son of Soufrière, who most persons know him as the creative director of Just for Fun, but he and one of his colleagues put together the costume for us. So Claude Daisy and Jamal Hunt out of Trinidad designed one of the costumes for us, and it utilizes plastic bottles. So that costume we will be utilizing, reusing plastic bottles to create applique for the costume. So we are bringing out the message of utilizing trash and not littering and becoming a guardian of the river with this design. And then for the water warriors, they are protecting the river and they are monitoring what is happening to ensure that persons play their part. So we are hoping and encouraging all parents whose are interested, whose children would be willing to register for our band. And if you go on our Facebook page, very soon you will see the costumes up. In fact, that post is going to go up sometime today if it hasn't gone up as yet. And the costumes cost $150 to $200, but the package for Carnival is valued at over $500 because the students will be getting not just the costumes, but the swag bag with the paraphernalia, the whistle, the water bottle, um, the cap, and several other little trinkets that we'll be giving them, as well as providing meals on both days of Carnival, as well as all the drinks and the icicles and the goodies that we will be giving them for Carnival. They will be getting it. That's included in the package. So the price of $150 for one of the costumes doesn't even cover the cost of the costume. So we want you to take part in our Carnival. The project is going to use this to promote our message of keeping the river clean. And ahead of Carnival, we know every year after Carnival, the road is littered. Our committee has taken the position that we are going to be posting bins around the Carnival circuit. And we want persons to utilize those bins when they are in their revelry stage. For Juve, for the parade of the bands, we want you to dispose of your litter in the bins that will be placed around the town circuit. We want you to ensure that we don't litter, period, but we want to see the streets clean as much as possible once the carnival day is done. I find it is highly inappropriate and insulting for persons to have this mentality and belief that because they're having fun and because they paid, they can just drop whatever it is that they use right at their feet. You're dancing and trampling on garbage, and you think it's not a good look for us as a community, it's not a good look for us as a country. You go to other countries where there are festivals and see what's happening with Japan right now with the World Cup. Once they're done, once the game is done, they come to the stadium with garbage bags. And when they're done, they clean up the area where they were sitting. They leave the stadiums clean. Why can't we adopt a similar habit? Why can't we see the need for us to clean up after ourselves? It is not somebody else's responsibility. And this mentality that St. Lucians have that, oh, if you don't litter, the council workers won't have work to do. That is not the council's work to pick up your garbage because you've been too lazy and disgusting to dump your garbage anywhere. That is not the town council's work. That's not what they're supposed to be doing. If you go to other countries around the world, that's not what they do. They go and they clear drains of silt, they replant to ensure that the communities are beautified, that they trim the hedges, they maintain the flower gardens, they maintain the parks, they ensure that equipment are sanitized. That's what they're supposed to be doing in Soufrière, in St. Lucia. Yet still, they are every day, twice a day, going around sweeping garbage that persons are littering. That's wasting their time, wasting our resources, wasting our taxpayers' dollars, and we're not seeing the benefit of it. What they should be doing should be beautification and maintenance of our public spaces, not trash pickup. So the project will be placing some new bins, beautifully decorated bins around town, and we want persons to start using those garbage bins and not abusing them. So if you place a bin by the bridge, we do not want you to start dumping your household garbage in there. That's not what it is for. You have a household garbage collection day, utilize it. The bins that we'll be placing is if persons are walking around and they have a bottle in their hand or a food container or icicle bag or something, they can place it in that bin. We do not want persons to start abusing the bins when we put it around. So businesses, if we catch you dumping your business waste in our bins, I am going to utilize the law in that regard, because according to the Solid Waste Act, all businesses are supposed to contract the garbage disposal company, SADU, to take away their garbage. So don't even think of trying that one with us. We are working to improve our environment for the benefit of everyone. And no one person should be so sumptuous to think that they can get away with what they should not be doing. Keeping the river clean means we keep ourselves healthy. A clean river is a healthy community. A clean river reflects on each and every one of us. So if it is dirty, it reflects on each and every one of us as well. I want to encourage those persons who have yet to set up their communities cleanup, and I'm still waiting for the Fort Benye area, the Upper Victoria Street to Upper High Street area, the Crestland area, Zeno, and the Etangs area for their cleanups to be scheduled. As soon as I have those dates, those are the final communities to conduct their cleanups, I will inform you on here, right here on the radio. I know I have had several persons stop me in town to ask me, when is the cleanup, the bulk waste going to happen for their communities, because they have something that they want to get rid of. I'm just asking you to bear patience with us. Once your community leaders have set up the date and organized, then we will be informing everybody of the dates. But for this week upcoming, we do not have any cleanups scheduled as yet. I want to say thank you to all those who have tuned in today. It is coming up on 5 minutes past 11. And I want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in once again. Next week, like I mentioned, I am going to be doing a presentation on screen for those persons who are viewing on Facebook or on YouTube, so that you can see as well what it is that we've been talking about for our monitoring efforts and for some of the results that we have from our study and our water quality results. So from next week, we will be part of this presentation, part of this show will include a live presentation. So I want to encourage you, if you are listening on the radio, you can also follow on YouTube or on Facebook, where you would get to see the pictures and the graphs and charts that I will be explaining next week. So thank you once again for tuning in, and I wish you a very wonderful rest of the day. Keep the river clean.
Let we preserve for the future, keep the river clean. Hey, the time to act is now. So what we gonna do? We are the guardians of the river. Let we start anew. Pollution ain't no joke. Let we fix what we broke, so we can bust our river line again.